Hey English 102 online students, so welcome to another week of our course, and we'll go ahead and get started with our course calendar just to see what you were working on last week and what we're going to be moving on to this week. So this past week you've had a pretty busy week. You had 3 smaller homework assignments, plus you had a draft of the first part of your critical response essay. So this is definitely one of the busier weeks that you've had so far from week 1. As we move into the next weeks, coming up to assignment 7.1, the critical response essay draft part 2, it's going to start to focus less on smaller homework assignments and more on writing projects as we move closer to the end of the semester. So all the homework assignments you've been doing in all these weeks have been helping you prepare for these writing projects. And that's definitely not a scary thing. It just means you have more time to focus on your writing and not so much time that you need to focus on individual smaller homework assignments. So we're really going to improve your writing in the next few weeks. Okay, so you learned about summarizing and responding in assignment 6.1 last week. Let's go ahead over to our modules actually, just to review some of those assignments that you worked on in module 6. And we'll scroll all the way down here. And this one is all about engaging in an academic conversation, which is the first step toward putting together a great research project. Okay, so as I mentioned, you worked on writing summaries and responses this week in a reading that you did from this English 101 Rhetoric and Composition book. So that's just getting you thinking about summarizing other people's ideas and then being able to respond to those ideas. And you'll see I included this graphic here, they say, I say. So they say kind of represents the experts in your research topic area. The I say represents your response to them, kind of picking apart their ideas and thinking a little bit more about how those ideas can contribute to your research project. Okay, in assignment 6.2, you thought about how to integrate sources into your work. So using quotes, using paraphrases, and knowing when to use one or when to use the other and not overdoing them in different situations. Okay, so you completed that integrating sources workshop and uploaded there at assignment 6.2, and then 6.3, evaluating the critical response, gave you a good solid example of a critical response essay to look at, and hopefully that helped you put together draft part 1 of your own critical response essay. I did go ahead and upload this flow chart here that kind of guides you through how we're going to work through this assignment. It might seem like a lot of parts, draft part 1, draft part 2, final version, like how is this all fitting together? So it might help you if you're a visual kind of person just to see how the different steps will happen. So, you're already submitting draft part 1 by today, Sunday, March 14th, and then we'll move on to the feedback stage. So we won't have a peer review for this assignment. I'm going to be giving you the feedback, and you'll be getting that feedback in the next couple of days. I'll get through those Monday and Tuesday as quickly as I can, so that way you'll have time to look at that feedback and make some revisions to it. So you'll make your revisions and then you'll add on draft part 2. And that's what you're going to be working on for next Sunday, the 21st. So you'll add a response or evaluation of your article to the introduction and summary in part 1. That'll be due next Sunday, the 21st. And go back to your example essay that you evaluated in assignment 6.3. Take a look at how that writer put together their response. You can also go back and look at the assignment guidelines to see some of the advice I gave you there about how to put together that section. Okay, so you'll get feedback on all of it, draft 1 and draft 2 put together, after you submit it on the 21st. So I'll give you feedback on the combined parts, and then you'll revise everything and submit your final version by the 28th. And the reason I've decided to kind of split it up into steps like this is because this tends to be a kind of a challenging essay if you don't have kind of more manageable parts to break it up into. And so I feel like this will help us, and you'll get an extra round of feedback to help you out. Okay, So, moving on to Module 7. So yes, we are moving on. We're almost getting to the end of all these modules. All right, so Synthesizing Research, Annotated Bibliography. And that's the next major writing project that's coming up, actually, after you submit your critical response essay. Of course, the critical response final version is not due until the 28th, which is 2 weeks from today. So the bibliography is not until another 3 weeks from now. But be aware that it is coming up next. So assignment 7.1 is going to help us get ready for that. And by the way, really quickly, let's go ahead and give you the extra credit code for this week. And that's Anno, A-N-N-O, Bib, B-I-B, 2021. So we're getting ready and preparing for our annotated bibliography assignment. So there you go. All right. So in assignment 7.1, this is the other thing that you'll do this week, the only other assignment that you'll be doing in addition to draft part 2 of your critical response. You're just going to be basically doing some searching for annotated bibliographies. So an annotated bibliography is basically a list of the sources that you'll potentially be using in your final research project. All of these assignments are about the same topic. You're going to be developing your expertise on this topic that you've been working on all this time. And eventually, by Sunday, April 4th, you're going to be putting together a bibliography of the sources that you have found. You can even go back to assignment 4.4 and take a look at the research notes that you worked on. I had you include 6 sources there, and I had you ask 3 questions and then plug in different notes from your different sources. That is a great source of information to pull from when you start working on your annotated bibliography. Okay, so as it tells us here in assignment 7.1, as you've learned, writing an annotated bibliography is an excellent way to pull together a list of resources on your research topic and begin to see how they will work together in your final research paper. However, annotated bibliographies are very useful research tools in and of themselves. So for this assignment, I'm going to ask you not to create an annotated bibliography yet. That's coming up in 3 weeks. What I want you to do for this is just to search for some bibliographies in your own topic area. So you can do internet research, such as, if I was writing about online learning for my final research paper, I could do a Google search using the keywords online learning annotated bibliography. I could even look for them in specific formats like MLA or APA, or in certain document formats like PDF or .doc. And once you find a good bibliography, you can attach it to this assignment or include a web link to it. So you can create a document, or you can just include the website that you found, and then explain in a few sentences how easy or difficult it was to find a bibliography and whether it might have some useful resources for your own research project. So the goal here is for you to start to recognize some annotated bibliographies out there in cyberspace, what other people have done, other researchers in your topic area. And if you can't find an annotated bibliography specifically for your focused research topic, you could look for annotated bibliographies on broader topics. So if you're doing, for example, mental toughness in sports, a few of you are working on a topic like that, you can't find it for your sport, you could maybe look for another sport because you could borrow ideas from that. Or you could, look for an annotated bibliography on sports psychology. Even though it's a little broader, you might be able to take sources from that broader bibliography and apply it to your research project. So this is going to be another way for you to conduct research on your topic. You might also want to start taking a little peek at the guidelines for the annotated bibliography. So you've got an example, a couple of examples there, templates in MLA and APA style, and you have the guidelines for the assignment. All those documents attached there will tell you everything you need to know. And so, you can take a sneak peek at that. Okay, so we will be kind of working in modules 6 and 7 in the next couple of weeks. You'll sort of be switching between the two as you get the critical response essay and the annotated bibliography finished. And by Sunday, April 4th, we'll be ready to move beyond modules 6 and 7 into the next one. Okay, so I wish you all a great week. Any concerns, questions that you have, please don't hesitate to get in touch, and I wish you all good luck. See you next week.